Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing good. In today's session, we are going to discuss the history questions for the recently conducted Anubhav test. I hope your experience for the test was good. किसी भी टेस्ट का जो मेजर ऑब्जेक्टिव है वो आपको प्रिपेयर करना है कि आप जो कुछ भी पढ़ रहे हैं, जिस तरीके से आप सब्जेक्ट्स को कवर कर रहे हैं, उन सब्जेक्ट्स में से कैसे क्वेश्चंस पूछे जा सकते हैं. In general, UPSC is going to test your knowledge on majorly three parameters. Firstly, checking your factual and conceptual clarity. Secondly, for example, especially into the areas of economics, the questions can be from the current related also, and you can also be tested based on some correlation. For example, in economics majorly, how the two entities or how the two concepts can be mixed. In geography also this can happen. So, apart from facts and concept, you can also expect questions based on the correlation. And another is going to be definitely checking your awareness also, and a very important testing criteria कि कौन से questions को नहीं करना है ना. So over a period of time, once you attend these tests, you get to also know yourself कि which kind of questions you should definitely skip. So knowledge के साथ साथ your temperament is also going to be tested, right? So in today's discussion, I am going to start the discussion for the history questions, and over a period of discussion you will get to know कि that history questions में से culture के questions, ancient के questions और modern और medieval के किस तरीके के questions you can expect, right? So let's start the discussion one by one. The first question is, consider the following information regarding Mahabodhi temple complex, right? So the question is regarding Mahabodhi temple complex. बोधि है इसमें तो डेफिनेटली कुछ बुद्धिज्म से होगा ही और बुद्ध से होगा और उसके साथ साथ में उनके एनलाइटनमेंट से रिलेटेड होगा. सो वेन एवर वी टॉक द लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ बुद्धा, there are majorly 4 places and 4 phases which are going to be important. The first is going to be his birthplace, that is going to be Lumbini. Second is going to be the phase of enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, and that is going to be the phase of enlightenment. Third is going to be his first sermon that he is going to give after the enlightenment at Sarnath, and finally his Mahanirvana or the final phase of his exit, right. So this is going to be the second phase regarding his enlightenment, Mahabodhi temple complex. So this is going to be a complex, or I can better show you. So this complex have the temple, and apart from temple you also have the Bodhi tree, and there are going to be other sites which are going to be related with the Buddha, right. So coming to back to the question, as I was telling you, there are going to be the 4 phases, and this is going to be the phase which is going to be the phase of enlightenment. So first temple, it is the first temple in the complex was built by Emperor Ashok. So Emperor Ashok took the initiative of building the temple, and that was in 3rd century BC, and it is one of the first temple which is going to be built by bricks with respect to the Buddhist temple, right. So when we talk about the first statement, it is the first temple in the complex which was built by Emperor Ashok, 3rd century BC. So this statement is correct, and it is the earliest temple which was built using bricks, right. So the first statement is correct. Second statement says it marks the place of Buddha's first sermon after enlightenment. So as I said, second phase of Buddha's enlightenment or third phase of Buddha's phase, that after enlightenment, his first sermon is going to be in Sarnath, है ना. तो Sarnath में he is going to give his first sermon. So the second statement is incorrect. So that makes our option A and D incorrect. So finally you have a 50-50 choice, because 3 स्टेटमेंट में से एक स्टेटमेंट जब पता चल गया कि रॉन्ग है, और एलिमिनेशन इसमें यूज किया जा सकता है क्योंकि here it is going to be the conventional question. Third is going to be the Fahin has made reference to the main temple and Bodhi tree. So Fahin, who visited during Chandragupta II, also made the reference regarding this Bodhi tree. So third statement is also correct. So finally we are going to have first and third. That's why the answer is going to be C. Okay. Now moving towards the next question. This folk painting is practiced primarily by tribal women of Jharkhand. What I always suggest, whenever you read a question, always mark the keywords, okay. So that is why you don't have to read that question again and again. For example, this is going to be a question which is going to make an inference, and finally you have to discover which answer is going to be the correct answer. using these hints. So the first is going to be, this is a folk painting practiced majorly by tribal women, and tribal women of where? Jharkhand. So whenever you read any statement based questions or whenever you read any question, make sure कि आप उन keywords को highlight कर लें. तो वो कीवर्ड अगर हाईलाइट हो जाते हैं तो वो बार बार आपको क्वेश्चंस नहीं पढ़ने पड़ते हैं और कुछ टाइम को बचाया जा सकता है. सो इट इज गोइंग टू बी प्रैक्टिस बाय ट्राइबल वुमेन ऑफ झारखंड. इट इज मेनली एसोसिएटेड विद मैरिज, हार्वेस्ट सीजन and local flora and wildlife among prominent theme. So it is going to give you two hints. पहला तो इनका मेजरली एसोसिएशन मैरिज और हार्वेस्ट सीजन से है, और सेकेंडली इसकी जो मेजर थीम है वो लोकल फ्लोरा और वाइल्ड लाइफ की के आसपास घूमती है. सो इफ यू गो इनटू दिस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन, सो दीज आर द मेजर हिंट्स व्हिच आर गिवन. द करेक्ट आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी ऑप्शन नंबर बी, Sohrai Khovar paintings, right? I can also show you these paintings. So if you see in these paintings, you can also see the wildlife and the flora and the fauna which is majorly depicted. So these paintings where Sohrai is going to be the name of the winter harvesting festival, and this is majorly celebrated after the Diwali, right? So पहले की मेजरली पेंटिंग्स में या पहले के जो फेस्टिव सीजन्स हैं वो मेजरली एसोसिएटेड है या तो नेचर से या हार्वेस्टिंग सीजन से, राइट? सो दिस इज ऑल्सो एसोसिएटेड विद द विंटर हार्वेस्टिंग सीजन. खोवावर को अगर हम थोड़ा सा ब्रेक डाउन करें, सो इट हैज अ वर्ड वर विच इज गोइंग टू हैव अ रिलेशन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू मैरिज. सो इन पेंटिंग्स को या तो हार्वेस्ट सीजन के सोहराई के टाइम के बाद बनाया जाता है और दिवाली के जस्ट बाद बनाया जाता है, या फिर मैरिजेस के टाइम पे बनाया जाता है. एंड दे आर वेरी पॉपुलर इन द एरियाज ऑफ हजारीबाग, दैट इज इन झारखंड. इफ वी सी द अदर ऑप्शन, मंजूषा पेंटिंग्स आर गोइंग टू बी एसोसिएटेड विद द बिहार. पिचाई पेंटिंग्स आर एसोसिएटेड विद राजस्थान. चित्तारा पेंटिंग्स आर एसोसिएटेड विद कर्नाटका, right? So might be if your Manjusha painting and Pichai, I think you can easily guess, and Sohrai Khoravar is going to be the correct answer, है ना? These are the examples for the paintings. So next question, consider the following information regarding the ancient centers of learning in India. So here we can see major three centers which are very famous in the ancient India. Nalanda is definitely, it was also recently in news. Second is Vallabhi and third is Vikramshila. So it is a bit tough question because might be you do know the center of learning and the founder, or it could have been a question where the place is going to be written or in which time they were constructed. So here we have associated scholars. So this is the area might be जिसने इस question को थोड़ा tough कर दिया होगा. So Nalanda, as you know, कि definitely it was a UNESCO Heritage World Site founded by Kumar Gupta, and if you do know the basic history, it was lately going to be destroyed by Bakhtiyar Khilji also. One of the famous scholar is going to be the Aryabhat. So statement 1 is going to be the correct. So first is going to be the correct match, where Nalanda is going to be the founder is Kumar Gupta and associated scholar is Aryabhat. Recently we have revamped this university, and also the new admissions and everything has started. This university used to have a very vast and a very big library in a complex which was known as Dharamganj, right? So that is going to be there. Second is going to be the Vallabhi. It is in Gujarat. Maitraka dynasty, where one of the ruler was Phatka, he founded this university, and that is going to be in Gujarat. One thing which is wrong here is Nagarjuna, because his time span is much earlier than the foundation of this particular university. So that's why this particular statement is incorrect. Nagarjuna, who was a Buddhist scholar, that is going to be his time period was much more earlier than the particular university. So that is why this statement is going to be incorrect. And the third matching, which is going to be Vikramshila of Bihar, was founded by the Pala dynasty, Dharampal, and the scholar is going to be the Atisha Dipankara, right? So Atisha Dipankara is going to be the correct one, and third is going to be correct. So how many statements are going to be there? There are going to be only 2. So answer is going to be B. Okay. इस क्वेश्चन में एसोसिएटेड स्कॉलर की जगह you could have also expected time, or you could have also expected place. Next, so the famous battle of 10 kings, which is a very famous battle of in ancient history, mentioned into the Rig Veda. So I always say कि you should always mark, बार बार नहीं पढ़ना पड़ेगा. Battle of 10 Kings, Rig Veda, was fought on river bank of X. So it is going to ask on which river it was fought, which is identified as river Y in the modern times. Which of the following pair correctly identifies river X and Y? So this question has two parts. Firstly, it is going to ask कि पहले कौन सी वाली रिवर पे ये वॉर लड़ा गया था, और दूसरा उसका करंट में नाम क्या है. जैसे एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री या मेडिवल हिस्ट्री के बहुत सारे नाम जो उस टाइम फ्रेम पे थे वो मॉडर्न टाइम्स में या अभी के टाइम पे किसी और नाम से जाने जा सकते हैं. सिमिलरली रिवर, जैसे सप्त सिंधु के बारे में आप पढ़ेंगे, सो देयर आर गोइंग टू बी 7 रिवर्स, और उन रिवर्स के नाम जो करंट टाइम फ्रेम में हैं वो बहुत अलग हो सकते हैं. सो एज यू नो, इट इज गोइंग टू बी fought on the river Purushini, which is currently known as Ravi. So similarly, if you want to know about the other rivers, for example, Askini is going to be known as Chenab, Vipas is going to be known as Beas, Vitasta is going to be known as Jhelum. So here it was fought on the battle, or this battle of 10 kings was fought on the banks of the river Purushini, and the current name of that river is Ravi. So answer is going to be A. थोड़ा सा हिंट भी है क्वेश्चन में, अगर आपको पुरुषिनी का वो पता है तो कम से कम ए या डी में 50-50 चॉइस आप जरूर कर लेंगे. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. रुद्रमा देवी, अ प्रोमिनेंट वॉरियर क्वीन ऑफ 13th century इंडिया, is associated with which of the following dynasty? So next question. Rudrama Devi, a prominent warrior queen of 13th century India, is associated with which of the following dynasty? A very, very direct question, that Rudrama Devi associated with which dynasty? So she was born to the Kakatiya dynasty ruler Ganpati Deva, right? So Kakatiyas ruled majorly from 12th to 14th century and in the current region of Andhra, Telangana, and into the southern, some portions of the southern India, with their capital into Warangal, right? So she was actually born, as I said, to the Kakatiya dynasty ruler. So the answer is going to be A. It is a very, very direct question. If we go into the medieval times, we see we hear a very famous name of Razia Sultan, because at that time it is not going to be common that a woman is going to rule, right? So similarly, into that particular time frame, she is going to rule, and that was very uncommon because she is going to be a prominent warrior, being a woman, and that is why this question was this question can be important, right? So she actually belonged to the Kakatiya dynasty. Next, which of the following statement is not correct? So why I always say कि आपको हमेशा mark कर लेना चाहिए, because here you can make a mistake of रीडिंग द क्वेश्चन ऑफ करेक्ट और नॉट करेक्ट. तो हो सकता है कि आपने क्वेश्चन ढंग से नहीं पढ़ा, तो आप अपना ऑप्शन मार्क करते समय OMR में मिस्टेक कर सकते हैं. तो इट इज ऑलवेज गुड टू अंडरलाइन. नॉट करेक्ट रिगार्डिंग होम, सुभाष चंद्र बोस, वेरी फेमस पर्सनैलिटी. सो फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट सेज ही वॉज द हेड ऑफ स्टेट ऑफ द प्रोविंशियल गवर्नमेंट of Free India set up into Singapore. So after meeting the Prime Minister into Japan, right, and it was in the backdrop of the World War II, he is going to meet the Prime Minister, and then he is going to come to Singapore to form the provisional government, and he is going to head. So on 21st October 1943, he is going to form the provisional government into Singapore, and he is going to head that, right? So that is why the first statement is going to be correct, right? Second is going to be he was the author of the book 6 Glorious Epoch of Indian History. So this book was majorly written, or this book was written by Veer Savarkar. So this book was written by Veer Savarkar. So that makes statement number B incorrect, or statement number 2 incorrect, and the question is all about the which of the statements are not correct, right, or which of the statement is not correct. So अगर आपको सिर्फ इस बुक के ऑथर का नाम ही पता है, so you can easily mark down the question. And as you know कि he presided over the Haripura session of the Indian National Congress, and after that Tripuri crisis also happened. So this is a very famous session that he is going to preside. So ये तो सबको ही पता होता है. So the statement is going to be the B. So correct answer with respect to the not correct in this question is going to be B. So moving to the next question, with reference to the Gupta Empire, okay, which of the following represents the correct sequence of officials in descending order? That means we have to start from the top, move to the bottom. Gupta Empire officials in the descending order of the size of administrative division. Okay, so we have to move that how the administrative division of Gupta Empire used to happen and who are going to head those positions, right. So, we are going to organize the officials starting from the top to bottom, right. So, if we see the current administrative division of any of India also, firstly we are going to have nation, that is going to be divided into state, and states are further divided into districts. So, similarly during Gupta Empire it is going to be empire, that is going to be the entire territory that is going to be ruled by Guptas, right. So, this empire was divided into provinces which were known as Bhuktis, right, and these Bhuktis were the provinces or that time Gupta Empire के जो states आज के कहे जा सकते हैं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यूपी एमपी, उस तरीके से उस एम्पायर को भुक्तीज में डिवाइड किया गया था जिनको उस टाइम फ्रेम पे उस टाइम पीरियड पे प्रोविंसेस कहते थे. एंड दीज प्रोविंसेस वर फर्दर डिवाइडेड इनटू डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स व्हिच वर नोन एज Vishyas, and these Bhuktis were divided into districts which were known as Vishyas, right. So, empire is like the nation, Bhuktis are going to be known like the provinces or the state, and Vishyas are going to be districts, right. So, empire was ruled by, because empire is going to be the king and they used to take the titles, right. The Gupta kings were used to take the titles of Maharaja Dhiraj, right. So, similarly they are going to be take the titles, and that is administrative title is going to be Param Bhatkaraka. So, Gupta kings used to take the title, for example Maharaja Dhiraj, right. So, administrative units at the highest order is going to be the empire, and that administrative official that is going to be the king, which was also known as Param Bhattaraka, and Bhuktis were controlled by Uparika, and Vishyas, as you know, is going to be controlled by Vishpati, right. So, that is going to be the division, and this is going to be how the order of official is going to be. So, option is going to be A. Okay. Next, consider the following information with reference to Huensang account of India. Okay. Huensang, who is going to visit during the Harshvardhana time, and he is one of the ruler which is going to be very much spoken about after Gupta Empire. So, he is going to visit, which played an important role of also making him convinced to convert or to follow the Mahayana Buddhism. That is also mentioned into the second statement, if I am reading correctly. It mentions Harsha's adoptions of Mahayana Buddhism. So, segregation of Buddhism took place into the fourth council, you know. So, Hinayana versus Mahayana, right. So, he is going to convince Harshvardhana to get converted, and it mentions Harsha's adoption of Mahayana Buddhism. So, Huensang account, that is going to be his book Siyuki, right. It is going to be the history of the Western world, if I translate. So, second statement is definitely correct, as I discussed right now. First statement mein it is going to say कि it state that Shudras were agriculturists. So, he is going to make a commentary on the political system, administrative system, also on the economic and social life. So, when he is going to observe the social life, he is going to say that there are going to be two categories of people, Shudras So, he is going to say two category of people. Firstly is going to be the Shudras, they are going to be agriculturists, and there are other category of people which are going to be known as Vaishya, which are involved into business activities, right. So, Shudras were referred as agriculturists according to his observation of the social structure at that time. So, first statement is also correct. It also mentioned that during the time period of Harshvardhana, who is one of the major ruler of the Pushya Bhuti dynasty. So, he also mentions that during the time period of Harshvardhana, who belongs to the Pushya Bhuti dynasty, it claims that there were no forced labor. So, when he observed the social structure and the economic life, he claims that there are going to be no forced labor during this particular dynasty rule. So, this makes the three statement is also correct. So, the answer is going to be C. All the three statements are going to be correct. So, next question is, consider the following events that are related to Indian freedom struggle. So, here there are three events which we have to arrange. This question could have been it is one of the easiest question which you can see, because you only have to arrange, and these are very famous three major events. As you know, the Royal Indian Navy mutiny is going to be one of the last mutiny before the independence, and it is going to be very much spoken about because of the discrimination with respect to the type of treatment which was given to the Indian sailors versus the European one. So, in Royal Indian Navy mutiny happened into 1946. This much you can easily guess. Second is going to be the Wavell plan, which is going to be in the 1945 in the backdrop of so Wavell plan is going to be in the 1945, which is going to be in the backdrop of World War II, right. So, after the Shimla conference into the June, this plan is going to be presented, so that the resentment of the people with respect to the self governance and with respect to the change of power and with respect to the transfer of power, some of the provisions can easily be carved out. So, Wavell plan is going to be in 1945. So, this is going to be very easy, and as you all know, arrival of cabinet mission happened into the March 1946. So, now the trick is, if you do not know the date of Royal Indian Navy mutiny, and if you do not know in which duration the cabinet mission came into India, these two timeline are going to clash. So, sometimes these events have also be to remembered. For example, if you go into the national movement, you should definitely know that how all the satyagraha happened, the first three satyagraha of Gandhi ji. Then you should know when Jallianwala Bagh happened, when Khilafat movement happened, when non-cooperation movement happened, right. So, they are very close to each other. So, that is why if you also know sometimes the year, sometimes the date or the month becomes important, so that you can do these kind of question, right. So, Royal Indian Navy mutiny happened in the month of February, and here it is going to be March. So, the answer is going to be, the first is going, we have to arrange in the chronological sequence. So, now if we see the sequence, the first event is going to be the Wavell plan, the second event is going to be the Royal Indian Navy mutiny, and third is going to be arrival of cabinet mission in India. So, answer is going to be A, right. Moving to the next question. So, now this question is going to talk about the Indian freedom fighter and the organization to which they are related, a very factual kind of question, right. So, if you know the Indian freedom fighters name or associations unske pata hai, so you can easily do this question. Shyama Krishnaji Verma is a very famous Indian freedom fighter who was actually born into Gujarat. Then he is going to form an organization, Indian Home Rule Society. So, definitely to promote home rule, and this society is going to be formed into London, right. So, he is going to promote the idea of home rule, and he is going to form this society in London. Shyama Krishna Verma is going to be the correct answer. Virendranath Chattopadhyay actually was a scholar at Oxford, right, and he was also preparing for civil services. Lately, he is going to meet Shyama Krishnaji Verma in London only, and he is going to form a new organization, Berlin Committee for Indian Independence. So, as the name suggests, Berlin is going to be representing into Germany. So, lately he shifted to the Germany, where he is going to form the Berlin Committee for Indian Independence. So, that is also the correct answer. Lala Hardayar, you most of them know, he is associated with the Ghadar party, which was formed into USA, right. So, Lala Hardayal is going to be the correct answer. The next addition to this particular question could have been the year, or could have been the other Indian freedom fighters, which might be not that much popular, but they are associated with these particular organization. That will make the question more tough, right. So, the answer is going to be, all the three pairs are going to be correctly matched. Okay. Moving to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding Constituent Assembly of India. I hope this question is going to be easy, or you must have found this question easy, because most of us read this in history also and polity also, and constitution features, constitutional philosophy, constitutional values and Constituent Assembly के बारे में हमें काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें पता होती हैं. So, first statement, Cabinet Commission had recommended separate Constituent Assembly for India and Pakistan. This question is this statement is incorrect, because it has recommended only one single constituent assembly, that is going to be the, at that time the division has not happened. So, definitely it is going to be the unified India, right. So, this has recommended only one constituent assembly, not the separate one. So, that is why the first statement is going to be incorrect. If you see, you can easily opt out A and C, because this is not the options are not given that only 1, only 2, only 3, right. Then it would have been tricky, right. So, you can easily eliminate A and C. Second, members of each community in the provincial legislative assembly elect their own representative. So, as you know that the constituent assembly is going to be formed by the indirect elections, where we are going to elect the members at the provincial legislative assembly, and these are the members who are going to elect their representative for the constituent assembly. Members from the princely states are going to be nominated. So, that is why it is going to be a mixed body, where the indirect elections are going to happen along with the people who are going to be nominated, right. So, second statement is going to be correct. Sachidanand Sinha presided over the first sitting of Constituent Assembly, and as you know, lately Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the president. So, second and third statement, both these statements are going to be correct. So, answer is going to be D. As I said, you can easily eliminate, because if you know the first very basic statement, you can go along with this question. Moving to the next. Now, this question is a very factual question, but it is a tough question. So, factual questions can be a very tough questions. For example, if environment में भी कई बार ऐसे सवाल होते हैं जो होते तो बहुत एकदम सिंपल फैक्ट्स हैं कि ये चीज़ कहाँ लोकेटेड है, या ये स्पीशी अभी रिसेंटली न्यूज़ में दिखी, ये कौन सी कैटेगरी की है. सो कई बार फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चंस भी बहुत टफ हो सकते हैं, राइट. मेजर थॉट प्रोसेस ये होता है कि स्टेटमेंट बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस आर ऑलवेज गोइंग टू बी द टफ क्वेश्चंस, बिकॉज दे आर गोइंग टू चेक योर नॉलेज इनटू लेयर्स. बट कई बार फैक्चुअल क्वेश्चंस भी बहुत टफ हो सकते हैं. सो फर्स्ट इज गोइंग टू बी विद रेफरेंस टू द वुमेन भक्ति सेंट्स of India, consider the following statement. So, the first statement says Lal Ded, she was also known as Lalleshwari, was a Shaivite saint. This is particular correct, but she was active in Kashmir, not in Kerala. So, here the trick is that this Kerala is the incorrect part and it should have been Kashmir. So, first statement is incorrect. Here also some elimination can be done if you are lucky, if you are getting this old method of asking you the correct and incorrect with respect to option. So, first is going to be the incorrect and first is going to be incorrect, that means 3. So, if you want to, that is why I say कि sometimes attending the question in a proper manner could have can also fetch you marks. कई बार सवाल देखने में टफ लगता है, हो सकता है कि नहीं कर सकते, बट अगर आप स्टेटमेंट्स प्रॉपरली पढ़ें तो हो सकता है आप सवाल कर ले जाएं. सो इफ यू लीव द सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट and go jump to the third statement, Mirabai was a disciple of Saint Ravidas. So, Mirabai, who was married to a royal family and Rajputana family, and lately she became the disciple of Saint Ravidas. ये वाला statement majority of लोगों को पता हो सकता है. So, you now know कि definitely the third statement is going to be the correct one. So, if you are eliminating like this, so definitely you are going to take third. राइट तो हो सकता है सेकेंड स्टेटमेंट के बारे में ना पता हो, बिकॉज इट इज़ अ बिट टफर, और तीनों स्टेटमेंट्स के कंपैरिजन में सबसे टफ स्टेटमेंट है, वेयर अक्का महादेवी इज गोइंग टू बी द कंटेम्प्रेरी ऑफ सेंट बसवना, राइट. तो सेंट बसवना के बारे में तो शायद आपने सुना हो, बट अक्का महादेवी के बारे में हो सकता है ना सुना हो. सो दैट इज वाई दिस पर्टिकुलर स्टेटमेंट इज डेफिनेटली इज ऑल्सो करेक्ट. बट अगर आप थर्ड स्टेटमेंट और पहले स्टेटमेंट में डिस्क्रिमिनेशन कर लें और थोड़ा सा आइडिया हो आपको, सो यू कैन इजिली अटेंड दिस क्वेश्चन, राइट. मूविंग टू द नेक्स्ट. नाउ दिस इज अ इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन. द समुद्रगुप्त प्रशस्ति engraved on the Allahabad pillar is dated to 360 century CE. Okay. If the same were to be dated as per the Indian national calendar, the year would be. इस क्वेश्चन को डायरेक्टली भी पूछा जा सकता था, बट इसमें साका एरा मेंशन नहीं है. तो इफ यू डू नॉट नो दैट इंडियन नेशनल कैलेंडर इज गोइंग टू बी बेस्ड ऑन साका एरा, which start from 78 AD, then this question is going to be tougher for you. So, what is actually asking कि Samudgupta Prashasti has been engraved where? Allahabad pillar. Not important, it's just a reference. Is dated to the century 360 CE. अब इसी चीज को अगर हमें इंडियन नेशनल कैलेंडर के हिसाब से कैलकुलेट करना हो तो क्या ईयर निकल करके आएगा? So Indian national calendar, as I told you, is based on the Saka era, that is going to be 78 AD. So actual the question is asking x plus 78 is equivalent to 360, isn't it? Because Saka era is going to start from 78 AD. So if we go like this, easily x value is going to be 360 minus 78 and the answer is going to be 282, right? So the answer is going to be 282. The only thing which you should definitely know that Indian national calendar is going to be based on Saka era, which start from 78 ED. Then this question becomes very easy, right? Moving to the next question. With reference to the Maratha Empire, consider the following statement. Okay. The first is the Modi script was used for writing the Marathi language during the Maratha Empire, right? So I think if you can see, definitely you cannot read. But this is an example of Modi script which was majorly used by the Maratha Empire, and it was a script for which was majorly used for war correspondent messages, right? So जैसे आज के टाइम फ्रेम पे या स्पेशली वर्ल्ड वॉर के टाइम फ्रेम पे मॉर्स कोड यूज़ करते थे टू ट्रांसफर द इंफॉर्मेशन, उसी तरीके से मोदी स्क्रिप्ट यूज़ करी जाती थी मराठा एम्पायर के द्वारा, और मेजरली इसमें ऐसे मैसेजेस होते थे जो स्ट्रेटेजिक इंपॉर्टेंस के हो सकते हैं या थोड़े सीक्रेटिव हो सकते हैं, राइट? सो दिस वाज अ वेरी वेरी यूनिक स्क्रिप्ट विच वाज यूज्ड फॉर मराठा, राइट? सो दिस इज पर्टिकुलर करेक्ट. Second, Saranjam system involved granting land to military commanders in the exchange for their service. So land grants was very much common. Even if you read the start of the ancient history also, or especially into the medieval history, land grants were given to the military commanders, right? So in the medieval history also, you know ki, so military commanders, you have to please them. So how you are going to please them? You are going to please them by granting land grants, right? So they are going to be lands which are going to be granted to them, and that area is going to be given them under control. So this is going to be known as the Saranjam system. So Saranjam system was for the land grants given to the military commanders. Third is going to be the member of Shivaji's Ashtpradhan. So as you know, major unit of 8 ministers responsible for the central administration. Responsible for the finance was known as Sumant. So this is a ईजी स्टेटमेंट. सो अगर आपको अष्टप्रधान के बारे में पता है और उनके डिफरेंट नाम्स पता है कि किस मिनिस्टर को कौन से पोर्टफोलियो के लिए क्या बुलाया जाता था, देन दिस क्वेश्चन इज गोइंग टू बी इजी. सो फॉर हियर इट इज विच हैज बीन आस्क्ड इज फॉर फाइनेंस, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी नॉट नोन एज सुमांत, इट वाज नोन एज अमात्य. इट वाज नोन एज अमात्य, एंड सुमांत वाज यूज्ड फॉर फॉरेन मिनिस्टर, राइट, नॉट फॉर द फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर. ही वाज फॉरेन मिनिस्टर पोर्टफोलियो आज के टाइम फ्रेम पे. सो दिस स्टेटमेंट बिकम्स इनकरेक्ट. सो हियर इफ वी सी द ऑप्शन 1 and 2 आर गोइंग टू बी द करेक्ट. सो द ऑप्शन इज गोइंग टू बी सी. थर्ड इज गोइंग टू बी इनकरेक्ट, राइट? सो व्हाट आई ऑलवेज से कि क्वेश्चंस को कई बार ध्यान से पढ़ने के बाद अटेंड करने से ऐसा हो सकता है कि पहली नज़र में वो क्वेश्चन आपको डिफ़िकल्ट लग रहा हो, बट जब आप उस क्वेश्चन को प्रॉपरली पढ़ लेते हैं, डिमार्केट कर लेते हैं, कीवर्ड्स हाईलाइट कर लेते हैं, सारे स्टेटमेंट में से कोई ऐसा स्टेटमेंट अगर आपको पता है और उसको एलिमिनेट कर लेते हैं, और कुछ क्वेश्चंस में वी हैव सीन कि वी आर लकी इनफ टू गॉट दिस टाइप ऑफ ऑप्शंस, देन इट बिकम्स इजी, राइट? अगर ओनली 1 ओनली 2 वाली कैटेगरी के आपके पास में ऑप्शंस हैं, तब तो डेफिनेटली इट इज गोइंग टू बी टफर. फॉर एग्जांपल, वी हैव सीन इन दिस क्वेश्चन आल्सो, एंड वी हैव सीन इन this particular question also, and then there is another question which I showed you with respect to Lala Hardayal might be, right? So कई बार इस क्वेश्चन में जैसे ये क्वेश्चन देखने में आसान लग सकता है, बट अनलेस एंड अनटिल यू डू नॉट नो ऑल द 3 स्टेटमेंट्स, तब तक दिस क्वेश्चन इज गोइंग टू बी टफर देन द क्वेश्चन दिस, राइट? तो कई बार आपको ये जरूर ध्यान रखना चाहिए कि ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई क्वेश्चन जो पहली बार या पहली नज़र में डिफिकल्ट लग रहा है वो वाकई में डिफ़िकल्ट हो. I always say कि prelims is going to test your knowledge and temperament also. Which 80, 85, 90 questions or 70, 75, 80 questions you are going to attend, that is going to demarcate the difference. Over a period of time, knowledge base is going to be same for most of the aspirants, but the way they are going to handle their paper is going to be the major challenging part. I hope this discussion is helpful. We are going to conduct the next Anubhav into the month of February. So, please be updated. You can easily register. Those of you who have not attended the Anubhav 1 can go, those of you can have not attended the Anubhav 1 can attend the upcoming Anubhavs, right. So, that is all from my side. Thank you and have a great day.